Well, 151 Japanese has done exactly what we expected it to. The reprint crashed prices down to $40 to $55 a box depending on what website you use, and there's some uncertainty in the general public as to whether it would be able to recover in a timely manner. Someone commented on one of my videos about the 151 reprint and said this: Japanese sets have always been overprinted, which I don't know if that's true or not, and they said that's why none of the sealed or raw cards are worth anything in Japan. It's always been like this. I'm not sure why anyone thinks that Japanese will compare to English product. Now that was their opinion, but I know most of you guys, most of the people that watch my channel do not share that. The rest of the comments on the video were saying this was a great time to buy, how many boxes they were picking up, and what prices they were at. I am kind of surprised that people thought that the set was actually legitimately overprinted, because as we've seen in the past month, the most openable is openable? I will call it openable. Shocker, the most openable set in the last few years got opened a ton and supply is dwindling. And although supply of this sealed product goes down drastically every single day, demand isn't really stopping. And because of that, right now we're seeing massive growth in the price of 151 Japanese. But what exactly is happening? Well, Japanese suppliers or people in the US who distribute these products have essentially decided that it's more worth it for them to hoard the product and sell it in maybe a month or 2 months, rather than try and churn and burn a bunch of sales right now. It was definitely advantageous 2 months ago to churn and burn product out because there was seemingly an infinite supply. The reprint was massive. So these Japanese suppliers and then these distributors and stores in the US, Canada, Australia were just ripping through product because they could get their margin, they could make some money, and they had pretty much an infinite supply at the time. Now, because the printers are off for Japanese 151 and no more supply is coming to those Japanese suppliers, the amount of actual booster boxes finally feels, I guess, finite, you could call it. So these distributors and stores who believe in the product, they believe it's a good investment long term, are like, oh shit, this might be the last reprint of this set, or at least the last reprint for maybe 6 months, 8 months. And if they run through all their product right now, churning and burning, they just won't have any left in like 3 or 4 months. So a lot of these people have decided to sit on their product or raise their prices. But the demand is kind of unwavering. So the average market price for these things started ticking up. They started to hoard more and more because they saw the potential margins that they could make increasing. So like, why would they sell it today when they could sell it in a month and make an extra $10 per box on the 500 boxes or so? But what this has caused is a positive feedback loop where less supply is being introduced to the market and the demand isn't changing, so it just starts shooting up in price. When I was coming up with the outline for this video, I was going to use the example and say that it's hard to find a Japanese booster box under $82 right now. But 3 days later, that isn't even true. It's hard to find a box under $86, $87. And I've seen a lot of sales in the mid to high 90s. This is insane. I honestly did not predict that it would bounce back this fast after a reprint. I thought it would maybe be like 6 months after the reprint hit in, was it June or July, for the boxes to get back up to $100. But no, we're looking to pass $100 in the next month. The price for these boxes has almost doubled from the bottom in 3 months. And at this point, I'm no longer buying Japanese 151. I've been buying a good amount of these boxes over the past few months, but I would only buy them if it was lowering my average cost per box. Now, this isn't a method I'm trying to push on anybody, and I don't think it's necessarily the best way to do this or invest, but at my average cost per box of around $80, I'm happy to stop here. And I know my average cost per box isn't amazing. A lot of people have it way cheaper than me, but I still have some of my boxes that I bought for above $200, which at the time I thought wasn't a bad deal. I didn't think they were gonna reprint it. Hindsight is 2020 though, and all you can do at this point is buy the dip. But yeah, I wouldn't be remotely surprised if these boxes pass $100 to $110 by the end of September. Demand for 151 Japanese is insane, and I'll remind all of you guys that in a poll I put out, you think that Japanese 151 is more enjoyable of an opening than English, which I fully agree with. And I think the only thing that can stop this rebound for 151 Japanese is another full-blown reprint. I wouldn't be surprised if this would happen, but I don't see it happening for the next at least like 5 to 6 months. The Pokemon Company has a lot of sets to focus on in the coming future that are gonna bring a lot of demand. They're gonna get scalped, like the Team Go Rocket sets, the Black and White sets, Terrestrial Festival with the Eevees with the crowns. And I think there's a chance that this set doesn't get another massive reprint because they're so focused on these newer sets. And obviously that is all speculation. I have no real proof or concrete evidence to back those claims, but it's just what I see kind of happening. Now, if I didn't have any boxes of 151 Japanese right now, I would probably buy a couple. I still think this set under $100 is a great deal. It has massive upside potential in the long term, and if it goes down with another reprint or anything like that, dollar cost averaging is not that hard to do, especially since I dollar cost averaged down from like $180 per box all the way to $80. Buying it at $95 is not a bad deal. Guys, honestly, Pokemon investing is not that difficult. If a set is great or collectible or nostalgic in some way, it'll do well over time. I know I don't have to tell you guys this, most of you guys already know this, and a lot of you guys are smarter than me. But Pokemon investing is super fun. It's nice to be a part of a hobby and not like completely lose my ass and lose all the money I have into it. And I can't wait to watch 151 in English and Japanese going into the future. And I have a bold prediction for Japanese 151. It actually might not be that bold, but I think we'll see these boxes back up to $140 per by December. These would be huge gains, and obviously I have no proof for this. I'm not trying to pump it or anything. I mean, we already know it's amazing. There's nothing really to pump at this point, but it is going to be fun to watch the market over the next few years. Drop a sub if you've been lurking for a while, or if you're new to my channel. We're almost at 1,000 subs, which is crazy. I gotta figure out what we're gonna do, maybe a stream with some giveaways and stuff like that. Let me know what y'all are thinking about the recent moves that 151 has made in the market, and whether or not you're still buying the boxes. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay safe out there.